What's up, you guys? Mitchell Gonzalez, that bearded guy, here with Anthony Meisner, the bearded title rep. Hey, are you thinking about buying a home in 2024 and you're kind of curious as to how the market's looking, wondering some different tips that can help you successfully buy a home this year? Well, you're in luck. Today, Anthony and I are going to give you some stats about what the buyer's market is like and also give you some tips on how you can successfully buy a home this year. Let's hang out. I appreciate you checking out this video. If you've seen one of my videos before in the past, welcome back. If you're checking out one of my videos for the very first time, make sure you do click that red subscribe button below. I think it's like right there. As I do post weekly content all about living in and moving to the Denver metro area. Along with that, as much as I love making these videos, I love helping people find their dreams homes even more. So with that being said, if you're looking at buying, selling the home, make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, write me an email. I'm available 24/7. Well, maybe like 16/7 to answer any questions you may have. I do sleep. So with that being said, you guys, you are here to learn about the market, the buy side. And what we're going to kind of do here is we're going to combine some stats, some market stats on what's happening with the market right now, and then also give you some tips on how you can be successful in your home buying journey.
Yes! Great. Could we hear it?
So as a buyer, I think it's very important to understand not only the bigger picture of the market, but like what's happening if you're purchasing a home between $500,000 and $600,000, right? Yeah. Like if that's your target price point, it's a popular one. Really depends on that market, right? It doesn't matter what's going on at $1 million, doesn't matter what's going on at $300,000 condo. It really just matters what's happening. The best way to do this is really dive into the market. Now, the higher end of the market lately is finally picking back up. It got so slow over the last year because with the cost of money, it was tough, right? Sure. But $500,000 to $600,000 has constantly stayed competitive, right?
There's a lot more buyers at 5 to 6 as there are 3 million plus.
Totally. And inventory stayed fairly consistent because I think, every home that comes on the market has a pretty good chance of selling because there's so many people that can afford that price range.
Yeah, if it's priced right, it looks good, it's going to go fast.
Is there anyone out there who wants to go fast? Anybody?
I want to go fast.
Make an offer.
This is the other side of that.
I think it's probably the most important because basically what it is, it's if no more houses hit the market, that's how long the current inventory will last based on current demand.
Crushed it.
And so, normally it's like 4 to 5 is a healthy month supply of inventory. This shows you by price point. So, you can tell we're still pretty low on inventory on a lot of homes.
The key here is, inventory is not just going to start piling up this year,
exactly.
Right? If anything, buyers are going to start entering the marketplace and eventually this is going to start contracting. So when you have 1.2 months of inventory from 5 to 600,000, you just need to start getting in the market sooner than later.
Sure.
You need to be very cautious and mindful of what that means and how frequently you need to be serious, right?
Yeah.
You can't be some looky-loo buyer and being out in the marketplace if you're going to buy a house right now. So get serious, find yourself a really good realtor like this guy here and go out and do something cool like buy a house.
Yeah. And that's the thing is if you do see a home that you love, it's probably going to go quickly. So you got to be ready to go. And the good thing is 1.2 might not sound like a very high MSI, but if you were to look at this number 2 years ago, it was 0.2. We had 4 days of inventory. So the fact that we're over a month, so compared to where we've been the last couple of years, this number is actually pretty high. So
that's a real positive, actually. So you do actually have a chance of buying a house because there's not as many buyers.
It's trending up for sure for buyers. Right now, it's the market is the best it's been for buyers in quite some time, and there's several reasons. One of them is inventory is higher than it has been in terms of month supply of inventory. There's going to be more options for you out there. So that's definitely a plus. If you're looking to buy, you probably have heard horror stories maybe of people that were, maybe putting offers in the houses in 2022 and just getting smoked left and right because people were going 20% over asking, waiving appraisal, waiving inspection. That's not the case. You can get a home at asking, you can get a home below asking. You can do an inspection. Crazy. That wasn't a thing a couple years ago. So, there's even sellers offering seller concessions so that it can basically be used towards closing costs, buying down interest rates. So, it's definitely a much stronger buyer market than we have seen over the last couple of years. So, if you are looking at buying, you are definitely entering the market at the right time.
Absolutely. I think 2024 needs to be the year that people get in. Yeah. Now, the one thing that I want to put a caveat on this, that days on market, right? That's the other side of this slide. It's showing a lot of time around 50 days. Well, 50 days means active to under contract time in 50 days. Now, there's a huge caveat on that because that's stuff that went under contract last month. right, that is closing. And here we are in January at the slowest time of the year. You can't wait 50 days to go out and look-you shop whenever you want, right? You need to get serious and quick, fast, and in a hurry, because over the next few months, all the market does is accelerate.
Be ready to go. And that doesn't just mean like, I am ready to start looking. You need to like find your agent, hopefully. And then also, if you're a cash buyer, you're good. If you're looking at getting a mortgage, we need to find you a lender. And I've got some lenders I can partner you up with, a lot of great ones. And yes, lenders can sometimes get you approved pretty quickly within a day or two, but sometimes a day or two, that might cost you the house. So if you're serious about buying, let's get you a realtor, get you a lender, get you pre-approved. So that way, if you see a home that you love, you're ready. Because yes, there are homes that stay on the market for 40 or 50 days, but if a home is priced right, if it's staged well, if it's in a good location, it will still go under contract in a weekend. So don't let these numbers fool you. Like, you still have to be ready to go, but you might not have to go into the crazy bidding wars that we saw 2 years ago. So,
all right. So last slide we're going to talk about today is, well, number one, why do you buy real estate, right? So this is the average sales price of real estate. Now, a decade ago, doesn't seem like that long ago for old guys like us, I guess. But, 2014.
Got some breaks in the beard, so we're getting up there.
How old are you?
7, but I look a lot older.
We're both in our 30s. I won't tell you where.
Yes, exactly. Well, back a decade ago, you paid about $350,000 for a house. Today, you're going to pay about $730,000 for an average house in Denver Metro. Now, here's the thing. Over the last year, even in a really tough market, right? This was a really hard time in real estate over the last year. The average sales price went up by $37,000, right?
I mean, $37,000, that's like a salary for a lot of people that you're simply making just for owning a home. Yes, if you look at this chart from like 2020 to 2022, we saw growth in the teens, like high teens, 20%. And yes, that's great if you owned a home then, but that's not normal. I think the market we're about to see is probably going to balance out over the next 7 to 10 years, maybe see 4 to 5% growth year over year, which is fantastic. Like, if you're making 4 or 5% on your home every year, you own it for 10 years. I mean, I should have done the math beforehand.
5% of $1 million is $50,000 a year, right? You can't put that money away any other way.
Yep, and that's compounding. So it's like building every year. So it's like that could be $60,000 the next year, just because of 5%. So it's like, you're going to still see some great appreciation. Yes, you want to own a home, and the main reason why people want to own a home is to build equity, build income, build your net worth up. And right now, you're in a great time to do that.
Buying a house is less about finding a place that you really love to live and want to live. Maybe it's a commitment of some kind, but like, you don't really have to live there that long for it to make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the big thing right now is what's going to happen with interest rates. And people are waiting on the sideline for interest rates to drop, which is a huge mistake. The main reason why we saw the huge growth in 2020, 2022 is we had, I don't know if you heard, we had a pandemic. It's a big deal. And then interest rates dropped into the 3s, even the 2s. There's people that got interest rates in the 2s, which will never happen again if you ask me. I could be wrong.
It will ever happen again.
Hopefully not. I mean,
last time it happened before this, it was the Great Depression.
Yeah. We're going to have bigger problems if it does. But basically, that just made people qualify for way more money. So that's what caused the huge skyrocket. And they stayed too low too long for like 2 years. Really, they should have gone back up to the 4s, 5s. But instead, they overcorrected in 2022. So that's why you see in the chart 2022, there was a huge spike all of a sudden, and then a huge drop, because within the matter of like a month, we went from interest rates 3.5 to interest rates 7, and basically everyone just exited the market.
That's right.
And that's, it just killed our market at the time. And so now what we're seeing is interest rates, they actually got as high as 8% recently, which is pretty crazy. It was like for a day or two, but now they're kind of settling into the 6s. People are getting used to that. That's still a great interest rate. But if you're waiting for them to drop, what could happen is, let's say hypothetically, now, we can't predict the future, but let's say they do drop below 6, say they drop in below 5s, we are going to have a huge influx of buyers all of a sudden, and then we're going to have bidding wars again. And you don't want to be in the bidding war. So realistically, that's where you want to find a realtor, you want to find a lender. And if there's like one piece of advice I could give you on buying, besides just being ready to go, is do not make a decision based on interest rates. Make a decision based on what your monthly payment, what you want that to be. Figure out a monthly payment that you're comfortable with, and then find a house accordingly. And the good thing is that if and when interest rates go down, because they will go down eventually, I don't know if it's going to be this year, I don't know if it's going to be next year, they will go down. You can refinance and get a lower payment, and you're still locked in at the lower purchase price that you got this year. As opposed to if you wait for when they drop, then you're going to enter a bidding war. Yes, you'll get the lower interest rate, but you'll get the higher purchase price. So can't have your cake and eat it too, unfortunately. I never did get that saying, because if I have cake, I'm eating it. Basically what we're saying is, like, if you're ready to buy right now, there's not a ton of buyers out there. There are buyers out there. Can it be competitive? Yes, but not as competitive we've seen in the past. So right now is definitely a great opportunity to buy. Now, if you listen to our other video about selling, we also say right now is a great opportunity to sell. But it's a weird market because it's good for both right now. So I think if you are ready to buy, make a decision. Let's connect. Let's find a house for you. So with that being said, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me today, man. Like, I think
it's been fun.
It's fun. We always have fun. You know, we'll probably do another video in March because we'll probably have more information about interest rates and where they're going to be. So we'll probably do another market update then. But with that being said, you guys, if you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you do click that red subscribe button, as I do post weekly content all about living in, moving to the Denver metro area. If you have any questions about real estate, if you are ready to get out there and buy a house, make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, write me an email. I'd obviously love to work with you. So with that being said, you guys, Mitchell Gonzalez, that bearded guy, Anthony Meisner, bearded title rep, signing off.